Every time I turn around, this thing has spiders. I'm telling you. Welcome back, everybody. Figured I'd do a quick little update video on everything. A buddy that's looking for a Gen 453, and I happen to have one in my blue truck. So I'm gonna pull it out, and he's gonna buy the long block. I'm gonna go ahead and keep all the fancy parts for the Nova. This thing for a guy, and that was it. He never came and got it. So I figured, what the heck, I wanted to put an LS in it anyways, might as well go ahead and start on it. This thing, we're still waiting for parts. In the last video we got it running and went to drive it and went about a foot or two forward and just kind of popped out of gear. What we're going to do next is we're waiting for another transmission. It had about 20 codes. 4 of them were stuck solenoids and saying the pressures were all off, and so basically we're just gonna throw another transmission in it and hopefully it'll be done. Well, done enough. We'll do the firewall and hopefully we can start using it as an actual tow truck. The old work truck is still chugging along. We're gonna take the engine and trans out of it and we're gonna put it in the blue truck when the time comes. But everything's got to come out of that first, and it's all just got to go in order. This thing, I started driving it as a daily. I like it. For now it's kind of staying stock, except for we're gonna go ahead and lower it. Well, I got this thing fired up. Figured I'd take her for one last ride. Did pretty good. Got to a U-turn, I decided to see what it had, and yeah, she eats. Got pretty sideways. It was pretty great. Well, now comes the stuff that's not fun. So we've come to the decision, we need a little more room to work, so we're gonna take this and put it in the Nova. It's gonna be unloading it by myself. It doesn't exactly go downhill. I think this thing probably weighs like 1,500 pounds right now with no motor in it. It's always fun buying stuff from other people. That's why you should go over everything. It was on the pad, which means I gotta get the trailer off so I can get all that stuff out. The fun part, I gotta put the jack on to get the trailer off to get this stuff out. I could use the jack to get the trailer off, but I need the jack to work on that. So might as well just get it done. Well, the last one lasted 4 times or 5 times loading the trailer. So let's see if this one can do better. This guy is heavy. So we have a couple of good things going for us. The measurement from the trans to the motor mount is within about 1/8 of an inch. And there's rubber mounts on the engine and the trans on this, so it should go right in. The bolt pattern is actually the same, and this is from a 99 2500. It's a 6.0, so it has the extended crank. Pretty much no spacer, just bolt it up and go. Another thing we got going for us, the car is already plumbed with dash 10 lines, well, at least here. I don't know what it is in the back yet. We'll have to pull it apart, but should get put together pretty easy. So I started planning on doing this job about 5 minutes before I started doing this job, and I forgot that there's a Camaro pan on it, and I need a truck pan, but I don't think I have a dipstick tube, and the front of the Camaro pan is gonna hit the cross member. Might have to run over to my buddy's and see if he's got a pickup tube. Well, I got carried away and forgot to record. Went ahead, got a dipstick tube, got the oil pan on, cleaned it all with some brake clean. It was a little dirty inside from moving across the country. Now I'm gonna try to drop this thing in, see if it bolts up. Fun part doing it by yourself is going to be getting the mount to line up and getting it to drop in place at the right spot at the right time. Just because I can't see that side, I'm gonna drop it down because it's over it already. That should keep this side so that it can't move all around while I try to push this over and get the dowel pin lined up. Got it in pretty close. The only thing that's kind of stinky is I don't know if that oil return is going to fit. Oh my goodness, it's touching. Alright, I've got 1 bolt on each side, and fortunately these mounts aren't going to work. They're a little bit short, kind of ghetto, but a 3-bolt flange from a small block or a big block So what I'm going to do is go steal the ones off of the big block and try again. Well, I tossed the old turbo manifold on it, and it's too big. It don't fit under the hood. Shoot, it don't look like the throttle body's gonna fit under the hood. Well, you guys know my favorite thing to do. Cut up hot rods. Fits now. Although I don't really feel bad because the previous owner was kind of a hack job. I plan on getting a different front end down the road, so this is alright. Usually with anything racing and stuff like that, try to get the motor as low as possible, which is great because they raised it up, welded these little things on here, and yeah, not great. I do believe that the other motor mounts are going to make it sit a little better. I think it's the rubber holding it up. The other ones are just solid mounted, which is fine because I've done plenty of LS's solid mounted before. I do like my cars a little lower, and as you can see, oil pan's already kind of low. I'm pretty sure this thing rides higher than the blue truck over there. If I cut that bracket out of the way, I can adjust the spring down, which will drop the back of the car. I might have to get rid of this oil pan and actually get a different one. They make a swap oil pan that's a little bit higher up, so I might do that. And then I got to figure out the offset for the wheels. This one is, it doesn't hit yet, but it's pretty close. I like to lower the front end down a little bit. Well, yesterday, after figuring out that I needed to switch up the motor mounts and the oil pan, I'm gonna take a little break on this thing real quick and go back to the GMC. A silencer that used to go into the air box that would just quiet down the intake. We're going to cap that off and also cap off the vent for the valve covers, and I'll just build a catch can for that later. Probably could have made the patch just a bit bigger, but this was just a scrap piece I found, so it is what it is. Well, ladies and gentlemen, the old short bed is stripped down. We ended up pulling the transmission out of it and a couple little goodies. Sold it to a buddy so that we could work on the next project. We should have the transmission for this maybe next week. And I finally ended up with what I wanted. A big tire 55 Chevy. Drove up to Tennessee the other night and picked this guy up. It's not too bad. I've been holding onto these fenders for like 3 years, maybe 2. Anyways, finally get to put them to good use. I'm gonna go ahead and test fit some and try to get the hood and everything kind of looking like it's supposed to be. Not sure why they do this. These are 3/8 bolts, 5/16 washers. I don't know why, but 5/16 always fits better than the 3/4. Oh man, rookie mistake. We'll be back after these commercial messages.
I'll squeeze them for every dime I can. Every single dime. I'm Jim the Hammer Shapiro.
So my main goal
is to blow up.
Just pretty much get the gap straight all the way down and make sure it's in enough where the door doesn't hit it and out enough where it looks right. This is actually pretty decent how it is. Really should have got some body washers for this, but Home Depot was the closest, and it's what I call good enough for now. Just to get the front end on. Yeah, getting there. It's pretty tight on there, but it's on there. I'm gonna go ahead and throw a nut and a bolt on each side on the core support in the front, and then throw the hood on, and then try to get everything where the gaps are all about the same on the whole front end. Not really gonna tighten these too much, but I'll run them in real quick. Okay, I lied. Oh, that's good enough for now. Well, good and bad news always seem to hold hands, so I'm gonna run back and get some more bolts. I got enough bolts to put the fenders and the hood on, except for the hinges weren't on, so I had to use those bolts for that. So back again I go. I might grab a couple extra to pop the grill in and shut it all down, see how it looks. The bottom of the fenders sucks. I gave away a bunch of them. I had them laying around, and then I got rid of all the 55s, and now I need them. So I'll have to work on getting another set of those, and today's goal, just kind of get it complete looking so it doesn't look like a big old hunk of junk. Wrong size bolts. Silly. Well, I couldn't really get a good angle. Struggling quite a bit. And I had 3/8 bolts instead of 5/16. So I went in the shed and actually found some old ones from that. So, got the hood on. Fits okay. We're going to try to throw the grill in and see what happens. I got the grill on. A couple bolts just kind of finger tight. And yeah, it looks like crap. We'll get old Ronald McDonald done up and going in a little bit. We might end up just painting the grill black or something for now. It's kind of got a little dent in it, kind of. Not great, but looks better than zero front end at all. So we have a couple of bolts in the, oh, there we go. A couple bolts in the core support on the top. These guys are a little bit bent. At first I thought they were backwards because they're angled off to the side. I'm like, I think it's backwards. And so I flipped the core support around, and definitely not, because it's way off. It won't even fit the other way. So somehow this is either the wrong core support or I don't know, something. It doesn't fit. But it fits enough to get the fenders where they hold. I mean, it is correct. It just might be maybe for a 56 or a 57. I'm not sure. I think 56 uses the same one, but it's been a while since I messed with them. I got these bolted in. The front end's a whole lot more sturdy. The hood, though, on the other hand, this thing's a flimsy mess without the trim piece. The chrome piece actually stiffens it up a little bit, and then I need the rods that go to the front that hold the latch for it, so that will be on my list too. I do have this bottom piece here, but like I said, the bottom of the fenders I'll have to order, and it's pretty much there. I like it a lot. It's coming around. I haven't even tried to open this door. Fender's out just a tad. Oh man, I forgot the door handles broke. This one opens and shuts with no issue, so that is nice. I'm gonna go around, check the other side. Popped it open from the inside. Seems good. Oh. It's close, but should do. Shuts really nice. Also, have to oil it up. Oh. So we can talk about a little bit of what's going to go into the car. We have the Holley High Ram intake we got off the blue truck. We have PRC heads. I do have a Tick Performance cam that sounded amazing, but there is one little spot that's kind of messed up. I don't know if I want to run it or not yet. Also, we have this 4L80, and this thing's built pretty good. It's a full manual valve body reverse pattern, 36 or something like that, 100 stall. And it's got a trans brake, so we'll have to go ahead and switch the shifter in the car because it's only for a 3-speed. It's now 4-speed, and it's got the overdrive, which is pretty sweet. It's also got a lockup converter. We can actually drive it around and it won't be, you know, too bad. Being a manual valve body, we're gonna have to shift it everywhere we go, just like a manual. There's no electronics except for the trans brake and the lockup, but it might get a little annoying, but I am all about it. I am ready to get this thing going. We're going to use this 80mm turbo, and we're going to use that block there, which is a LQ9. I do have a LQ4, but I think I want that little bit more compression. Try to get this thing spooled up. The rear end of this thing, the guy told me it was a Dana 60. I don't know if it is or not because I've never ran one. So, any of you guys out there want to comment and tell me what it is, I'll be happy. Also got to get a drive shaft made, so knowing what the rear end is kind of a good thing. He's coming together already. For a while to get this as the shop truck and then get a 55 to work on. So things are coming together. Finally got the 2 cars I want to keep. My buddy's gonna just go ahead and drive the Nova because I can't drive them all at once. I've been messing with the paint a little bit on the 55 since I've gotten it. And we picked up a transmission for the GMC so we can get that thing going finally, again. And we picked up this old junker motor. We're gonna connect it to the 4L80 we got. And the 4L80 and the new motor actually has a like a 4L60 style pattern. It's a small pattern, so it should go all together nice, and we're just gonna try to set it in the engine bay. Every time I turn around, this thing has spiders. I'm telling you, crazy. Not anymore. To make everything a little bit easier, I'm gonna go ahead and pull the core support, the grill, and the bumper, so it's just a straight shot in. All right, now to fight this thing. Hopefully it goes on nice and easy. Yeah, that's not gonna happen.
2 hours later.
Okay, so we test fitted the transmission to the motor, and it was too much converter for this, so we didn't actually need it. And then I tried to put it back together, and the converter was getting tight, so I was like, oh man, that's not good. So then 52 times taking it apart, we figured out that the snout here was actually too tight for the back of the crank. So we sanded down a little bit here, did the same there, probably 1,000 times. Yes.
Real men of genius.
Yeah, now we're gonna try to test fit it again. If it goes in and spins freely, you know, it doesn't have to be like loose or anything, just enough for once it's all the way in we can turn it, then we're good to go. Oh, I got this 4L80 bolted to the motor, nice little 5.3, and
torque converter still spins.
oh yeah, we got the converter to spin, put it on, so I guess it was that last little bit and the touch of Andrew, I was touching Andrew. We'll cut all that out. Anyways, Andrew's touch, got it. He gave it the kiss of death.
Kiss of death, baby.
Stop it.
I don't know what he gave it. Anyways, we're going to shove this hunk of shit in there. Pulled the whole front end off, and then I remembered, I thought to myself, when I put the 4L80 in the last Turbo Bel Air, we took a little hammer and massaged this lip and kind of just folded it over and smoothed it out because the housing actually gets pretty close to it, so it looks pretty smooth. It doesn't look like I haggard it up too much, and I think we're gonna try to slide it in there.
Yeah, let's do it.
Oh, Andrew's already. I'm not.
The bugs are out.
Yeah, so the only problem is that's as far down as that hoist goes, and we got to get to that back hole there so that it balances and the transmission isn't like this going in. Oh, we can try it. Also, I don't think this will fit. We have to actually use the aftermarket one, so hopefully that doesn't leak everywhere. Oh, lordy. Okay. Yeah, alright, so the engine's gonna sit on the cross member, the strap's under the trans, and we are going to drop it down to see what it sits like.
Yeah, what the low is. Oh, the guitar is flat.
I don't think it moved at all, really.
Not really, no.
Okay.
Yeah, you just need an extra Leon.
Well, it will once everything's on it. Yeah, we still got to make mounts and stuff. I don't think we're going to be able to buy them because this guy already put these mounts in here, and they're welded. So we'll have to just get a plate and weld the little tabs on it where we want it.
Just
I'm
like
gonna
always.
go ahead, I'll set the intake on it, and then we'll kind of just see how everything's looking. My main concern was just that everything's gonna fit under here, but I think we're golden.
Yeah, I think there's a
We
ton
could
of-
almost just stack the intercooler in there, get one of those fancy ones. I couldn't help myself, so we ended up throwing the Holley high ram on it just to test fit it, and the 80mm turbo. This thing ought to do pretty good for a little 4.8 for a 4.3 6-cylinder.
Yep. 4.3.
Whew. And it's getting lower, so oh yeah, that's only got about 1 inch now on this side.
This looks a little bit more normal looking now.
Yeah, that tire would actually it would look lower if it wasn't flat. It's so down.
Yeah.
Plus the suspension, the tires are like this right now because when they put the control arms on, there's no shims. And I noticed after I got it to the house, there was no shocks in the front. Oh. That's okay. I did think about doing airbags, but not anytime soon. Next year, year after.
Next week.
10 years. So I think this is about where we're gonna stop. I'm pretty happy with the progress. We got the car's a different color almost. We got the engine and trans sitting in. Just got to make the mounts. Probably gonna have to buy the core support because it doesn't actually fit the fenders right. I don't.
So weird.
Yeah, I don't think it's for this car. The grill, that's just a whole nother story. I don't even want to talk about that thing. But I'll probably throw the whole front end together and then figure out how the intercooler, transcooler, and radiator are gonna go in it. And I think that's it for now. We'll see you guys next time, and hopefully something happens. Maybe we'll put the trans in the truck.
That'd be nice.